Why are, I mean, I got told last month that I wasn't on the air much. So now I'm on the air every day. Now, that's either at 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, and then again at like 3:30 to 4:30. You guys don't respond to me. What's up with that? So I want somebody to get up at 5:30 in the morning, not tomorrow, and just to say hi. So with that, remind you, our repeaters are up, they are functioning, they are good to go. A couple of things I want to make you aware of. The club is working on, and we have a date set, and I know, Mickey, this is the same date as one of your events. I know, but it's okay. We can share. So we are going to do a 2-meter contest, just a little one, on May 21st. It's a Saturday. It's going to be from 11 to 12. It's simplex only, okay? And the way this is going to work, and we'll post all the rules and suggested frequencies and all that online, and then have a handout for everybody next month. The way this is going to work is, yeah, you call CQ out on one of the frequencies, 2-meter frequencies. Somebody responds to you, okay? You do the little exchange, and then you have to get off that frequency and go to a different one. The person that responded to your CQ, they can then call out from there. It keeps everybody moving around. There's a couple of reasons for this. First off, we get used to actually using our radios and spinning the dial, figuring out how to get to different frequencies. This is way important for some of us that just camp out on like the 04 repeater. That's what I do. So that we can remind ourselves how to do that. You can program in these frequencies, even though, you know, it's simplex, so you can just, you know, type them in most of the time. And it's an awesome way to get some of our new hams, or some of our hams that aren't on the air very often, getting used to clicking the push to talk. It's simple, it's easy, we get to move around, it's an hour. Log your contacts, and then we got prizes. Now, we haven't settled on all the prizes, but when Gary goes and buys prizes for events and that kind of thing, they are way better than the door prizes. He always does it. So
we're talking a box of chiclets here.
We're a box of chiclets. Hey, if that's what you want, I'll give you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. For some of our more experienced hams, I encourage you to reach out to some of our new techs, our new hams, people new to the area, that kind of thing. Help them to get online. The weather should be good. Now, granted, I'm using my crystal ball. I mean, it's Utah. The weather will change in a hot second. But I'm hoping that, you know.
Say again the date.
It's May 21st. And so hopefully it'll be nice. We can go out, be outside, be in a park. HTs work really well with this. It's a good thing. So be aware of that. More information to come. It'll be on the website next week. So with that, I do know that Mickey's got some announcements. So let's go ahead and turn some time over to him for his announcements.
Thank you. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, I am one of the representatives for a group called Utah SAG. We do support for all kinds of events throughout the state, and we recruit from all the clubs in the state. We have 400, a little over 450 people on our mailing list, and we do cover events all the way from actually up into Pocatello and Montpelier, all the way down to St. George and into Nevada. What I'm here for is we have events, as Larry said, one of them conflicts with the one he just announced, but other than this week and April 30th and Memorial Day weekend, we have events on every Saturday, multiple events on most Saturdays between now and the end of June. And we need people. We've got 2 events coming up on May 7th and May 21st that actually go right through the middle of Davis County. And we have 1 person from Davis County signed up to help. It would really be nice to have folks from the area sign up to help on these events. The easy way to find out what's going on, go to utahsag.org. And we have a page called events that lists the stuff that's coming up in the near future. And then we have our calendar, which has events going out all the way till Skywarn Recognition Day in December. So we have the opportunity to give you time in advance to plan. And that's all I can ask for is we need volunteers. And we're one of the best ways to get involved in volunteering because we do something that a lot of clubs don't do and a lot of, and virtually all of the events don't do, and that is make sure that everybody's covered for insurance. So you don't have to worry about that as part of your volunteer work. And that's about it.
Great, thank you.
If you've got questions, I'll be here at the end of the meeting.
All right, so I think Rick's got some announcements for us.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. I wanted to mention two things quickly. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. The first is the Great Utah Shakeout is coming up soon, 21st, Thursday. We're going to be running an event. Joan Rapp, our EC for Davis County, has asked me to coordinate that work this year. And so I've got a plan set up. We're actually going to be doing a 1 hour long drill at 10 a.m. Part of the reason for that is our regular Aries Met meeting is that evening at 7:30, and then we've got races that evening as well. So I'm going to be putting together some information that I can send out. If you have got some interest in it, please contact Joan Rapp. I'll be sending my information through her so she can make sure that she's got her email. I'll be sending out some specific information on what that drill is going to entail. Just to give you a little tickler, it's going to be focused on using ICS 213 messaging, and we're going to be sending a lot of messages to each other, but they'll be short and sweet, so it'll be easy. The second thing I wanted to mention related to the Great Utah Shakeout, one of the things I've been doing is filling in for Bill Moyes while he's been out with the traffic situation, handling both digital and CW coming in from TWN. And I got thinking as I was doing that, this is a perfect opportunity, the Great Utah Shakeout, to send a message to family and friends and practice and try out what will happen if you want to send a welfare piece of information should an actual event occur. So if you want to put together a message and send it to somebody, they don't need to be a ham radio operator, just an address like you would put on an envelope and include a phone number, and you want to get it to me, I'll be happy to send that out. And I can get that cranked into the national traffic system or the digital traffic system in order to be able to send it. So I will leave it there and turn it back to Larry.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so don't forget Utah Shakeout is coming up. It's a great event to be able to talk to our neighbors about what ham radio does during an emergency. Once again, we're running into that season where there's lots going on with radio. And yeah, that means we get to play with our radios, but it's also that we get to talk to our friends and neighbors about what we're doing on the weekends or the middle of the week and get them interested. A couple of things just to bring to your attention. The FCC has instated their $35 fee. It starts on the 19th. Now, yep, we all are the boo, and we get that, absolutely. Keep in mind this. It comes to like $3.50 a year. If, when you break it down,
Doesn't work.
$3.50 a year. I know that doesn't make some of us happy, but when we look at all the costs, okay. Now with that, we do have to help people that are looking at ham find the value in that. It's going to be tough at times, I know, but please continue to talk up that we have classes. Spencer's got some, I'll let him tell you about his classes in just a second. And so it's a good thing. Yeah, Mickey?
The FCC made one clarification a little over a week ago that the $35 fee does not apply to upgrades. So if you're upgrading from tech to general or general to extra, that's not a fee. That's not a fee situation.
Correct. Yep, absolutely. Also, address changes. It comes down to new licenses, vanity, call signs, and then the renewals is really what it encompasses. And so it stinks, but hey, a few of us have a couple of years before we have to renew. So continue to mention it to your congresspeople, and so maybe they can get that fixed for us. we can help. So we've got that. You want to talk about your classes, please?
I have two classes coming up. One is running Wednesday evening, starting the 27th of April and running every Wednesday through May. And that's at 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. At the Layton City Office Building. And then, just to make it more convenient for those that might be working graves or swings, I'm doing a day class on Fridays, starting the 29th of April, running from 9 a.m. to 11:30-ish. So if you've got kids that you gotta get off to school, you can get them off to school and then come to the class and then be done at 11:30 to pick them up for the early outs for the Friday class.
What class?
Technician license. They're both technician. We're using the Stu Turner technician license course book, which sells for $22.95 plus shipping and handling if you get them online. However, the Davis County Amateur Radio Club bookstore has purchased some for us in quantities, so we can sell those for only $20. So you save shipping and handling and that little bit. But there's a limited quantity. But those are available. The Friday class starts the 29th of April, it runs every Friday through May. So that both classes can be ready to take the next test, which is June the 1st, Wednesday at Syracuse. But the class is at Layton. Any questions from here? Question pool changes. It does, I do. Would you like to know? The question pool changes June 30th or 31st. July 1 is when the new pool starts. So this is a reason why those that aren't licensed want to get licensed now, because
Yeah, but in all fairness, the pool doesn't change that much. I really wouldn't be concerned about it.
what? But it does change.
Yeah.
And so back to you, Larry.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other announcements before you all try to kill me? Yes, sir.
Nobody come up or?
Please, because we're streaming this. So hi, everybody streaming. We miss you.
I'm Bruce McGraw. Now that I guess we hope and pray that the pandemic's over, we have, for those that are interested, before the club meeting, we meet at Golden Corral for breakfast. So it'll be, there used to be on the club website. I'm working to see if they can just put us one line on there, though it's not endorsed by the club. It's a bunch of us to get together. So we were there today. We missed you all and hope we catch you next month.
We can absolutely, what time do you guys start meeting?
8 o'clock.
As soon as it opens, 8:30,
Okay,
8 o'clock.
we can totally put it up there. Absolutely. All right. We good to go? Okay. Where's Joe? Can somebody, okay, good. I want to make sure you're here so I don't get run over. All right. All right. So as many of you may have seen in our newsletter, the club was approached with a request to consider, okay? Being the sponsors of a GMRS repeater. Now, I get it. GMRS frequencies are not ham radio frequencies. We're gonna put that right there on the table right there. The reason why we were approached to do this is actually this is not uncommon. There are other clubs throughout the country that actually do this, including like 1 or 2 in Vegas that do this. They use it as a tool for them, for people that are looking at radio, but don't exactly have the bug for ham radio yet, to get them into the pack. And to show them, yeah, you can do that with GMRS, but look at what else you can do over here. It also enables the club to have more reach, also the ability to recruit more people. And then there are, of course, some benefits to just having more toys to play with. Hey, it's totally true. And so we have received a handful of comments that came through. Most have been very, very positive. A couple with some questions. I know that Greg Lendell is actually working on responding to one or two of those for us. And so it is a discussion item. Joe is the one that authored the article that was in our newsletter. And so I want to give him a couple of minutes just to talk about what his experiences were or what he found as he was researching that. You want to take a minute or two? Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to be the only one up here getting these eyeballs. I mean,
I'll take a bullet for you.
sometimes it's safer to talk on the air. I just want to let you know.
Morning, guys. Yeah, Greg brought this up after being down in Las Vegas. He realized that the Clark County Races Group has a GMRS program, and they've been doing it for decades. When I was over in Nevada, I would visit them quite often, and they used it for several things. One was if you've got a ham in the family, but the other family members either can't or don't want to go through the hassle of getting a license, it offers them the chance to have some communication ability to home, like during the commute or whatever on the GMRS frequencies. They also use it when they have events like New Year's Eve down on the Strip. I don't know what it's like now, but pre-pandemic, it is a total zoo, and the Clark County Metro enlists the club and their GMRS arm to assist with traffic control, blocking intersections, that sort of thing. And they use it for a lot of the events tied in with their county races operations. It's just another tool, and it could be a really good recruiting tool for folks that, like Larry said, aren't really quite sure what ham radio is about, but they can kind of commingle with us in our little pool of radio here and learn a few things.
I don't think I have an objection personally to it, to it on its face. The only thing I'm concerned about is that, sometimes that kind of use is, how shall I say politely, undisciplined.
Mhm.
And I wonder to what extent we can control good radio operational techniques and stuff on that thing.
Well, I'll tell you, down in Clark County, they've got control operators on their GMRS repeaters, just like they do on their ham repeaters. If there's any shenanigans, they shut them down in a heartbeat. These things are going to have PL access. There may be different PL accesses for different activities and different groups. So yeah, it can be managed just like any other.
On the GMRS, I thought that was a license requirement to have the frequency, the FRS frequency. Is that correct? Still need
Yeah, you buy a license for your family, basically for you and everybody in your immediate family. It's going to drop to $35. It used to be $70, but it's going to drop to $35. They're happy.
We know where they got the other $35.
And it's good for 10 years. And you can communicate with your family, or you can communicate inter-license. That's a misnomer. A lot of people don't think you can communicate inter-license, but you can, as long as you use your call signs. And it's basically, GMRS predates CB. It's the original Citizens Band. It's the Class A Citizens Band back in the 50s, which really surprised me that they were actually thinking about UHF, and probably was unusable for anybody else because public safety wasn't there, that's for sure. And then Class D came in with the 27 megahertz stuff, taking our 11 meter band away from us. So, but it's just another tool for your consideration, and thought we'd solicit questions and comments.
where would the receiver be located?
On a high spot, to be determined. Yeah, we've got spots that cover the whole county, so it'll be in a high location.
Awesome, thank you. So absolutely, there with GMRS and ham radio, there are definitely some thoughts out there. There are some that are way far on one side, others that are the other. And then I do believe that many of us are right there in the middle going, okay. I like my ham radio myself, and that's what I like. But it definitely could be a tool that could be used, but it is up to the club. As Greg was looking at cost, for what it would take for us to actually put something up in a way that we would be happy with it, where we can control it remotely and all that stuff. The price was coming in not to exceed about $1,200. So it's not a huge, massive expense. It is one that the club could absorb without concern. But it is absolutely up to the club as a whole. So if you want to discuss it more, think about it, voice that opinion. If someone wants to make a motion, that's fine too. Or what is the appetite of the club?
I move that we buy one and set it up.
We have a motion.
I second it.
We have a second by Chuck. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, if any?
That
Awesome.
surprises me.
A
little bit.
It surprises me too. I mean, honestly.
That one person didn't want to.
I guess, again, the only proviso I have is that we enforce some level of discipline on that thing because it can get nuts, as you know.
Absolutely. So at this point, what the officers will do is we will take that then to this next level where we will do like we try to do with all the other repeaters. We'll have a planning session, make sure we know exactly what we're doing and where we're placing it, the equipment that we'll be purchasing and that kind of thing, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, John.
The only thing I would, because lately I've been dealing with this at work, let's drive a stake in the ground. We need to have a date by when it's going to be in and done to
Absolutely.
force it along if we're going to do this.
Absolutely. So, Tom, can you put that on our officers meeting for the couple of weeks from now? We'll get that set, get a committee up to make that happen. Awesome. So now we're here, ready for what we're really here for? Yes, sir. Spencer's got something else.
It dawned on me that I didn't tell you where you could let me know that you wanted to attend the class, or your friends and neighbors who obviously aren't licensed that want to attend one of the classes. You can contact me at ae7io@arrl.net. Well, that's my call sign, of course, ae7io@arrl.net.
Thank you. All right. So now for why we're really here, and that's for this awesome presentation. Will you join me in welcoming Ted? He is the affiliated club coordinator, right? Did I get that right? For the
Whatever it says on here.
for the Utah section of the ARRL. As you know, the club is an affiliated club with the league. To be affiliated, we have to have 50+1% of our membership as active in the league. That meaning paying after dues. So if you're not a league member, talk to me. We can get you signed up. Because that is a good thing. One thing for if you haven't looked at your email lately, the league did send out notice. The paper is changing this time around for the magazines they're sending out. So just be aware of that. Don't yell at me. It's not my fault, and it's not his fault either. And so with that, I want to turn the time over to Ted to tell you everything that's happening with Utah and the league and whatever else he wants to talk about. So it's all yours.
All right. Thank you. I'm not used to using a mic, but I will try so that you can hear me. My name is Ted Cowan, November Alpha 7 Charlie, and I do serve as the affiliated club coordinator. Now, I need to tell you why it's so hard for me to say that. I had a stroke about 15 or 16 months ago, and it affected my balance, my speech, my hearing. So I can't hear when Mickey calls and asks for help. The doctor told me that was a benefit. I'm kidding.
Nothing to do with the stroke.
No, I've known it for a long time. And so if I say something that is incomprehensible, I'd ask you to raise your hand, ask me to repeat. My therapist tell me to tell everyone this. I will not be upset if you ask to repeat. Yes, sir.
Can you start over?
Yes. In the beginning.
There's always one.
There's always one. Am I being heard okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. So I am here to talk, I'm here actually to substitute. Who was supposed to be here was our section manager, Pat Milan. But he had a conflict and he asked me a couple of weeks ago if I would step in for him. I can step in for him, but I cannot replace him. He is the section manager and I serve at his pleasure. It's really a lot of fun. This is my contact information. You'll see this at the end again. I just found out, I got an email that says that my dual voice and my email address is being taken away by Google. They are getting rid of a free service which I've been using since 2013. All right, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about me, that I have nothing to do with this. How many of you know what this place is? Okay, very good. I call it a beloved place. I love to go there and buy things. And if, with your permission, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about me, and then I'll jump into my discussion of the ARRL. And by the way, I'm not here to force you to join or to excoriate you because you're not a member. I'm here to tell you what's good about them and let you make up your own mind. Okay, so back in the late 70s, I was playing with electronics. There used to be a number of electronic stores in Salt Lake. This one was special because they had used parts, stuff you could never get anywhere else. I used to go in there all the time, and I went in there one day and I saw a sign that said, "Become a ham. Call 583-3002. I called that number. A man who many of you may recognize, his name is Gordon Smith. It was his voice on the voicemail. And he called me back. I joined DCARC. I took a novice class. I became licensed in late 1979. I am old. Some of you do this easier than I do. What's really funny is Rick Mead is sitting back there, and I knew him back then. I had no idea he was a ham. I wish I would have known that. But he and I worked together at the same company. Anyway, ARRL burnt to the ground. This was taken the day after the fire. I was going into town and I heard about it. I drove by there and I almost cried. Anyway, so it was going to a place that had an advertisement about amateur radio that got me involved. And I've been a ham for over 30 years. All right, by the way, having a small speech impediment does not matter if you do Morse code. Rick agrees. Okay. So this is me.
Question, Ted,
Yes.
actually more of a comment. Railco is back in business, but not under Railco.
Yeah, I know, he's over at substandard. Yeah, by the way, I say that lovingly. I buy stuff from them all the time.
Yes.
It's a nickname. Yes, I know. Railco they have resurrected. They are not the same company.
No.
You cannot go in there and start digging through their stacks looking for cool things. They have new stuff, and they make you wait while they go back and go get it for you. And yeah. So okay, so this is a part of my shack. This is as clean as it has ever been. All right. Let's see if I can make this work. No way. Oh, there we go. I am a life member of the ARRL. Now, I did this not because I think ARRL is perfect. I sort of Well, they had a price increase in 2015. I decided to get in on the deal before they raised the price. And I did you? Good for you. So I'm a life member, and I still feel that was a good idea, even though I don't know that I will live long enough to make it pay. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk about who they are and what they are. You know, I'm sorry, I'm easily distracted. I saw Lisa point at that picture because she's been there. And I'd like you to invite her to your club meeting to talk about her experience as a teacher at Newington. You've done that, okay. I'd like to shop you around. I'd like to send you to other clubs and have you tell about being.
These are.
Is there an ownership thing going on here? I want to. Okay. Yes.
We have another word group.
Be good, you guys.
Shame on you, shame on you. Why are we doing? All right.
You can borrow her for a fee.
Oh, wait, how much is the fee?
We're getting ready to buy a repeater, so.
Oh, no. So Lisa is a moneymaker?
No pecuniary interest.
We will not tell your parents. I think, is your mom still with us? Yeah, nobody say anything about this arrangement to her mother. All right, so. No, I am, by the way, I am a teacher at Weber State. I teach computer science. I love programming almost as much as ham radio. I sleep with the computer. I also have a wife, but I sleep with the computer. She has agreed to allow that. Okay, no towers, but I can sleep with the computer. Okay, so ARRL was started by this man in 1914. And it was at that time they were talking about sending messages and whatnot at the beginnings of sending traffic. Today, they are a much broader, much more comprehensive organization. That's an eye chart. I just wanted to show you that they have an internal organization and an external organization. I am part of the external organization. Come on. So this is their vision statement. I'd like to share it with you because I think it's important that we know what they're about. All of us have a vision, whether it's written or not. Companies and organizations write those down. It helps them to make decisions. All right, they support the awareness and growth of amateur radio, and they do so worldwide. ARRL represents us on international committees to the federal government. They have an open line to the FCC and so on. They're advocates for us. They are wanting us as hams to get and stay involved, get on the air. Did we not hear that today? I need to hear a lot of voices on that. I mean, by the way, my sister-in-law came to see us. We had a funeral in our extended family and a baby shower. And I have a card in my pocket, which gives me the right to say, no, I will not go to the baby shower. But she was there. She slept in my ham shack. There's a room in there. It's a bedroom. She said, I heard voices. I accidentally left my radio on. It was a simplex frequency, and 99% of the time, you hear nothing. Okay, while she's trying to sleep, somebody was on 145050. I was playing with Winland. And so we are about voices. She feels that we're possessed. They want us to experiment and they want to train volunteers. So these are the things that the ARRL are about. Lisa was able to be trained as a teacher at the ARRL. They invited her to come. They had fun. She had fun. And they taught her a lot of stuff. All right, the emphasis on these are mine. But this is what the ARRL stands for. This is what they try to stand for. Does that make sense? That's me. All right. Now that I showed you the internal organization, the external organization is what we call the field organization. Joe, you used to be part of that, right? Yep. You did. He when he got out of prison, he was a he was a section manager in the state of Nevada. Is that correct? Okay. All right, so we are part of this thing here called the Rocky Mountain Division. And it is led by two people who were elected. We see Jeff Ryan, it Salt Lake a lot, and I'm hoping to see him again soon. Is he coming to Salt Lake again? Does anybody know? Every time there's anything big happening in ham radio, he's here. And his vice director is Dan Grady, and they are elected. So is the section manager. I am not elected. I am appointed by the section manager. And he felt sorry for me, so he let me do this job. And I get this cool badge. I get to talk to you. All right, so this is another eye chart. But this will show you what we are. We are a cabinet. We have a bunch of people in that cabin, and some of those people are here today. And I'd like them to stand briefly, name, call sign, and role currently. Lisa.
Lisa Cook, K7 LAC, Assistant Fiction Manager, doing mostly with women, diversity, children, and events.
We started by calling it diversity, and we're having a hard time. Rick, yeah.
Rick Mead, Whiskey 7, Victor, Quebec, currently public information coordinator. Hard for me to say that. It seems I would be better at that.
Did you have a stroke?
What?
Did you have a stroke?
I wish. No excuses here.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the cabinet here? I don't know everyone in it, and we've been meeting by Zoom, so we rarely get all of us in one room together. That will change. This gentleman is our section manager, Pat Malone, in 7PAT. And it is his talk I'm giving today. He is a great guy. And he was elected last June and took office July 1. That's when I started. So I don't know everything about the ARRL. There are people here who do. By the way, Joe, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that email, because you mentioned special service clubs. We'll come back to that. Okay. This picture, I think this is Joe. Is that you? Yeah. Now, the thing that's interesting about this picture is this picture, I pulled this off the internet a couple of months ago, back in December. And I want you to notice, there's Pat. He's talking to you guys about something. Okay. What's interesting about this picture is this thing right here. That looks like me. And so this is one of the things that we do is that we assist clubs. I asked him for this job. I asked him to be associated with clubs. I am a member of this club and I have been for years. You guys put on a dynamite field day. And by the way, if I start talking about field day and I go off on a tangent, please forgive me. Field day is the most important thing in my life. I must also tell you that I found out a couple of years ago after my parents died, I found out I was adopted by my father. Now, I'm 64 years old. That was a surprise. Especially when I told my sisters, brothers, they weren't adopted. I was. The point I'm making is that I did my family history research and found out who my biological father is. And I've met many members of my family. They are having a family reunion next summer. Now, what weekend? They decided. You get one guess. One guess. Which weekend in June? Field day is not the last weekend in June. It is the fourth weekend in June.
Bring them with you.
It's in Tennessee. I am taking a radio. What's that? Yeah, I could, but I'm gonna be like 5 watts and you guys may or may not. We're talking more about CW. Do you think there's gonna be a CW tent this year? There is, okay, good for you. All right, so I love field day, and this is Utah Valley's field day. I had a heart attack at Utah Valley's field day.
Lucky you.
Well, I'm not sure they'll let me come back. I don't feel well. Drive to the hospital. So I got in my car and drove down to the Heber IHC, and they said, "Oh, you're staying. You're in trouble." I love field day. This is not self-promotion. This is me at a field day I organized for the Sandy Amateur Radio Club. The ARRL feels that getting out in public and showing off amateur radio is a good thing. This is at the Sandy Senior Center. Now, I am reluctant to tell you I'm now old enough to get free lunches at that place. Don't laugh. All right, so who's springing? I turned my phone off, so what's that mean? All right, so one of the most important things the AW does, and I love to refer to them as the AW because when you have a stroke and you're paralyzed, it's use short words. So the ARRL likes us in public. May I, by the way, let me step back. Okay, this is not Ted Cowan, the AAC. This is Ted of the ACC. This is Ted Cowan, the ham. I would love it if you guys would have field day in a park in town.
No.
I know you guys are young and love to go to mountains or to to faraway places, but I love field day when it's close to town. So I can zip out there, have fun, go home, sleep in my own bed.
Sleep?
I know it's overrated, but yeah, but I do it. In fact, I think the year that I went to the senior center, I came to your field day in the middle of the night and showed up about 5 in the morning. Now, the AW likes to produce a lot of information, a lot, including the handbook. Now, let's see, are there any young people here? Who has been, do I have any, oh, hi, Christine. What's your name?
No.
Say it louder.
Nada.
Nada. I have a granddaughter who's about your size. Okay, she's not as fun as you are.
How old is
She's, how old are you?
she?
So she's older than you. Are you a ham?
She's been to field day though.
Not a ham operator, just a ham.
Just a ham. I need someone who was licensed recently. Is there anyone in the room that was licensed recently? Raise your hand. Don't give me this. Give me this. 2 years is not recently, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, what?
1 year.
1 year is that? Beat you out. Is there anyone who's licensed in less than 1 year ago? What's your name?
Bryce.
What's your call sign?
It's AJ7 UHB.
GHP?
I'm sorry, Utah Hotel Victor.
Hotel.
Kilo.
Can you come up here, please?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Is that an emergency?
Now, before you do anything else, you see that book over there?
This one right here,
No, down there on the shelf.
barely, yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
pick it up and bring it back over here. Okay. I just recently got given a set of, you hold on to them. Thank you. I just recently got given a set of these for 2022. I figured I don't need 2 sets, right? So, do you have a set of those?
I don't. This
You
looks
do
nice.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So by the way, I was given a new set and I asked the person who gave them to me, well, I have a set of these. Can I just give these away? And he said, I read you didn't. So he says, give away your old one. There you are. By the way, I have met the man who was the editor of these. And the old one was incomprehensible to read. They say that the ARRL produces these and non-hams buy them because they contain that much information. And so if you are at all interested in electronics, those are the books for you. All right. So in addition to QST, they produce a lot of others, and I am not an expert. Who else is reading ARRL publications? Shout out some names of someone besides.
Antenna handbook,
The what?
antenna handbook.
The antenna book, there's like 6 of them, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, antenna book.
Exam books.
Exam books.
Get
Lisa,
on the air with HF.
the what?
Get on the air with HF.
On the air with HF. Oh, yes. Her father is a silent key and he gifted her a Elecraft K2. Are there any other Elecraft owners in this room?
What's an elephant? Expensive. I got the KX3.
You have you climb mountains?
No, yeah, I do, yeah, I got the KX.
Okay, so I would love a KX3 and I suggest that you take an escort to your car today. Because your life is in danger.
Not in the car, it's.
Oh, shucks. All right, so I built that K2. Oh, by the way, I've had several heart attacks and I had my first one while I was building the K2. I was working on it. I laid it on the couch and my wife says, what's the matter with you? I don't know, my arm hurts. I think we should go to the hospital. She was right. All right, so all the publications that you talked about, in addition to QEX, the National Contest Journal, a bunch of Get on the Air and podcasts and weekly newsletters that they send out by email are just some of the things the ARRL does. They advocate for us and help us to protect our spectrum. Now, I copied this directly out of their annual report for 2020. You can read this. It's too many big words there. I feel that the ARRL is imperfect. However, it's like democracy. They say that democracy is the worst, least desirable form of government in the world, except for all other forms. The ADUB is what we've got. We should make the best of it, and we should support them. That's what I feel. You may feel differently, but I feel, yes, we should do this because they are doing good things in respect to protecting our spectrum, protecting our rules and regulations, asking the FCC and receiving exemptions for various things. Now, there are some of you who are old people too. I'm not going to point you out. Some of you might remember when they tried to get rid of Morse code, that the ARRL was opposed to that. Violently opposed to it, but they still got rid of it. That was one thing I thought they could have done better. However, they've done lots of great things, and we'll talk about that. You can do that. So, technology, those books and magazines and newsletters contain a ton of technology. Bryce, if those books contain lots of technology, you will become a genius. You might be the next president of this club. You never know. All right. Enjoy those. Thank you. How many of you, is he here? I took this picture when I came up to see you guys at field day. Little is an old friend of mine, and I've known him for like 20 some years, and he does not like to have his picture taken, as you can tell. But he was at the CW. He's in the CW tent, I call it. And again, I love field day. And one of the, what's that?
That's the war wagon.
This is the war wagon, emptied out so that you guys can use it for CW and field day, as you should. The most important mode in all of amateur radio. I have a lot of people shaking their heads, but you can be wrong.
I'm the digital guy, so there you go.
You are. I have done that too. And I hold in a DXCC that's mixed, and digital makes that possible during our current sunspot cycle. Technology. Logbook of the world. And this is how I got my DXCC. For those who don't know what DXCC is, it means contacting 100 entities, roughly equivalent to countries. So I did that, and I sent I updated the LOGW, and off it went. And they support this for worldwide use. I think there's no charge to use it. There is a charge if you want to get an award. How clever. But it's trustworthy. There are other online award databases, but they are not as trustworthy. This is certificated and trustworthy. The ARRL laboratory, they have a bunch of people who do nothing but play with radios. How many of you would like that job? I'm still working, so some of you are retired, but wouldn't that be great? And they have all this equipment to test with, and it's stuff that we'd probably love to have if we could afford it, but we can't afford it. So we let them do it, and they publish the results in QST. So if you are looking to spend $1,500 on a rig, you can look at their review and see if it will meet your needs. It's scientifically tested rather than the stuff you read on EHAM That's a piece of junk. I don't like it. Get a lot of that. Okay, these guys are doing a professional scientific analysis of the machine. Does it meet specifications? What about spectral purity? Does it say what does it do what it's supposed to do? Excuse me. Does it do what they say it does? All right, the ARRL is the sponsor of the National Traffic System. ARRS, is this club associated with ARRS? Yeah, see, that's cool. Now, you are an affiliated club. That means that you have expressed a desire to align yourself as a club with ARRL. You have to have 51% of your members be members of the ARRL, and you have done that. I helped the Sandy Club become affiliated because I felt strongly about it years ago. And it's just a matter of paperwork. All right, now this, are you a SSC? Okay, I don't think you are. So I did a little bit of research. Joe, thank you for pointing this out. One of my main job responsibilities is talking about this. So you helped me be a better ACC. All right, they have a licensing, I'm sorry, a grant program for scholarships. They have teaching opportunities. They give money to youth. They give money to clubs, depending on the fund it's coming from. So they issue grants. And I believe they are going to not pay for, but subsidize the FCC fees for some people.
Under 18.
Under 18. I love that. You know, Rick, when I became a ham, I was the youngest person in the room. I was a kid. And I felt young and stupid, but I also felt everybody was old. And for some reason, we are. We're aging. We need youth in this hobby. And there is hundreds of years of experience in this room. I had a short meeting with Marshall M. Some of you may know that name. He owned a company called Morse Express. And I was in Denver on business, and I stopped in at his store and we chatted. He has since passed away. He committed to me to writing a book about CW. That book is in his head and went to the grave with him. I'm saddened by that. I bumped into the journal entry in my journal where I remember talking, just had a sentence or two about my meeting with him. And it was sad that he knew so much, experienced so much, but did not share it with him. I encourage you to share what you know. And one way to do that, by the way, is by accepting a leadership position or a committee assignment with your club. Now, most of you who've been here a while know who this man is. He is now heading up something called Volunteer Monitoring Program to assist hams in finding jammers, poor hams, people who are malicious on the air. The ARRL is sponsoring this. It's replacing official observer program, which we used to have years ago. Yeah, Special Service Club. By the way, if I just pass out, it's because I'm, I shouldn't be pacing back and forth like this, but I'm a teacher and I do this. So you catch me.
I at least won't let your head hit the floor.
That's actually the most important part. For me, it's the least valuable part, but I don't mind that. Okay, so you can read that. What is a special service club? Now, I went and looked at the application. One of the things that ACCs are supposed to do is award this certificate. Now, is DCARC a SSC? You should be. It costs nothing. It helps other clubs and hams recognize the work you are doing. Before I got up to speak today, I heard all about your activities and things you're doing and classes you're holding. This club is an SSC and deserves to be recognized. Okay, so what do you think?
Sure.
Let's take a look at that. Here is a one-line summary of each of the questions on the application. Do you have a technician class that starts this month?
Mhm.
Yes, you do. Do you have a named PIO? Larry, do we have a named PIO?
We do.
You do. Do you participate in areas?
Yep.
Yes, you do. Excuse me, but there are some of you who might feel that I am asking you a bunch of questions and the answers are yes and no. Let me say that I am certain they would approve you. Okay, do you have a technical specialist?
We have lots of them.
I believe on your website that you do. You have a committee. Well, I forget what it's called. I'm the one with the stroke.
I'll make sure they're active, so the answer is
Okay,
yes.
all right. Operating activities. Do you have any operating activities? Let's just use the one that's most important. Field day. The most important thing in the world, by the way. How important is it? I'll tell you. My anniversary is June 24th. A friend of mine who has never been to this club meeting, he lives in Ohio. He came to the wedding and he said, Ted, you do realize what weekend this is? I said, nah, it's okay, but we have to do it now. What was that?
Oh, and Ann know all about that, and we get cake.
You do?
Like
22nd.
Yours is the 22nd. Okay, Hal, do you take time to recognize your anniversary, even though it's field day?
Field day.
At field day. You are a ham that I want to be like when I get, when I grow up, I want to be like you. My wife tolerates the fact that we have an anniversary. She what? She's, oh yeah, very impressive. My wife thinks I'm a geek. Okay, so she doesn't come to these things. She loves me. She bakes things for field day, but she doesn't come. Okay, so let me check this one last thing here. Do you have any special events? I just went to your website and picked out a few. The Bountiful Hand Card. You do that every year or just once?
Every year.
Every year. Kids Day?
We're doing it every year.
Every year. Okay, Elmer Fest?
Yeah, every year.
Okay. I am about to ask your president and a member of his board to sign the document, and I am going to submit for you to become a special service club. You are over the top in the kinds of things you're looking for. This is a great club. Remember how I got started? I was a young kid. I just finished at Utah Tech. And I saw that sign, become a ham, 583-3002. And a club reached out to me got me in a class. You guys have classes? Yes. This is how we build the hobby. I could not have done this by myself. I had help. I needed to have help. And a guy named Alan Kaminsky was my teacher. He was a anesthesiologist who has since, I think, moved from the state. How?
If I could fill out that technical advanced tech specialist. On Tuesday nights, we have a special technique. Yes.
All right, I'm going to encourage your leadership to apply to become an SSC, which you can put on your website. So when they call, when hams look you up, you're affiliated so they can find you on our website, on ARRL's website. That's another advantage to being an affiliated club, is that your contact information is on their website, and it is. Now, you have to fill out the app, you have to assure your affiliation is current, and it is, because I looked. You guys are outstanding. And work with your ACC, that would be me. Okay, so
I'll fill out the form.
okay, and I'm going to gently remind you. Okay, you get the certificate, there'll be a ceremony, and I will hand it to you. You'll smile, take a picture. Okay, so. Okay, so why did I join the ARRL? I joined because of their advocacy, because of the fact that they represent hams well. We're not embarrassed by them. They have activities like field day, they have contests. I love contesting. They have QST, and I used to read them a lot, but now they're stacking up. By the way, if you become a member of the ADUB, they will give you access electronically to every QST going back for some billion years. So you can use, you don't have to save them anymore. How many of you have QSTs you're tripping over? We should have a fundraiser where everybody brings their own QSTs and we sell them for $1 a piece or something. So I'll let your club figure that out. They have labs. They have Logbook of the World, which is how I got my DXAC. These are things that could be a benefit to you. They have awards. They recognize and support clubs. I am a member of most of the clubs along the Wasatch Front, the big ones. UARC, UDXA, DCARC, UDARC. I'm sure I'm leaving some out. Draper and Sandy. I'm a club junkie. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of other stuff which I didn't go over, such as the QSL bureaus, the Learning Network, the RF exposure calculator. Are you aware of that requirement?
Yep.
We had a presentation at the Sandy Club about this, and the presenter said, this is a really good tool. It's much easier to use than some of the others, which is surprising. So ADUB has done a good job with that. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I encourage you to become a member. If you wish to become a member, you can speak to any of the board members of your club, and they receive a small honorarium for that. I don't know how much it is, but they do. So you might want to consider talking to one of them. Leadership of DCARC, raise your hands. There's two of them here, 2.5. You only have. Raise it high. Let them see you. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. These are all members of your leadership committee, and they will help you to do this. All right. So that's my pitch. It was nice and soft, right? Okay. That's the end of my presentation. I hope I was of value to you. Can I answer any questions? Yes, sir.
How many members of our club are, you said we're over 51%. What's our percentage?
Does anybody know?
It's on the league's website.
Okay.
Don't look it up. That's what I tell my students. It's in the book. All right, anything else? I have a handful of business cards back here. If you need anything from Pamela, from any of our cabinet members, from me, contact any of us and we will pass it along. We meet monthly. And so we're here to assist you in any way we can. That's legal. Okay? I know what you're thinking. I'm trying to sell Lisa. I thank you so very much for your attention today. Thank you.
All right, so with that, what are dues currently for the league?
Well, I am a lifetime member, so I don't pay them anymore.
It's like
I think they're
49
49.
a year.
So-
And there are discounts monthly.
And
Oh,
so,
by the way, there's a thing they're doing now. I noticed this. I'm not eligible for this yet, and I don't care. Oops, hang on a minute. I do Zoom for my students, and I forget sometimes, and my journal pops up, and they read love notes to my wife. It's embarrassing. There's a special thing. If you are 70 years old or older,
Give the mic so that they can hear on the recording.
if you are 70 or older and you're not a life member, but you've been a member of ARRL for something like 20 or 25 years, there's a special discounted amount to become a life member if you choose to do so. That's one of this. Okay, thank you.
so if you are not currently a member of the league and you are considering it, you can, of course, go online and you can sign up directly with them. But we would much rather you talk to me or Joe or Gary or Tom.
Larry, can we renew through you?
You can. Renewals are actually easier online. I'll be
That's
completely
right.
honest.
Yeah.
Renewals are easier online once you're a member. But if you're not and you're considering it, please talk to one of us. And we can sweeten the pot a little bit for you for joining the league for the first time. So first time members to the league, talk to one of us so we can help you get connected and good to go. One of the great things the new CEO has done is actually made the magazines available. You get one in the mail, in print copy, but they've made it available so we can take a look and read all the other ones digitally. And that has been a huge benefit. And so there are lots of feelings about the league, and I understand all of them. But as Ted said, they are what we have. And for all their faults, they really do go out and protect our spectrum. They go out and they do advocacy, they do education, they provide books and everything and educational materials. And so there are a lot of good positive things. Sometimes you have to look for them when you're getting through some of the other stuff. But it is definitely something to consider. And it helps to join us all together. Not to mention the fun stuff that they have available on their website for us to go and read and look at, that kind of thing. Many times when I have had something that's just absolutely bizarre, either with a testing session in a different state, or where we use the league, or if there was something going bizarre in electronics, I've called the league. And there's always somebody there to point you into the right direction. And so it's just one more thing that we have. Now with that, we can't leave all of the advocacy just to the league. It is each one of our responsibility, if we like this hobby, to use it. And when the elected officials decide, or appointed officials throughout our country decide that they want to do something that will infringe on our playing, we need to let them know that we don't appreciate that. Now, how do we do that? Part of it is just like I said earlier, get on the air. If the FCC knows that we're there and we're using the spectrum, it's a whole lot harder for them to justify taking it away. So become radioactive, be part of the community, get out there, and then when the league or other people tell us that the FCC is starting to look at something, that's when we really do write the letters, make the telephone calls. If it's one thing for the league to go in and say, hey, we've got all these members and we're trying to protect them. It's a whole lot different when they come in with the statistics and their telephone call, and it's backed up by hundreds and thousands of members calling up saying, yeah, we support this. So keep that in mind. Anybody have any final questions before I make one more almost announcement? Any questions, comments, or anything for the group? All right, well, with that, last month we talked about our membership and how to be readily involved and help out new members and existing members find the right place. I have great news that I can give you half of it. So yeah, this is a little teaser for next month. The club has reached out and we have made an appointment, and the appointment has been accepted for a membership coordinator. This person will be available via email, telephone call, or whatever, to help new and existing hams get to the right place or navigate the many aspects of our hobby. This person is very energetic, very happy. They asked us to announce their name next month. So know that we've heard you and we absolutely agree, and we have somebody that has accepted the responsibility to help all hams within Davis County and anywhere that they find their information to be able to get to the right place and get the resources, including finding an Elmer. So if you haven't signed up to be an Elmer yet, please do so. Put what interest you have on hamclubonline.com under the skills section, so we can use that as our database to find you and to get you hooked up with people that are interested in the hobby. So with that, that's our meeting for this month. Thank you for spending time. I think we had 14 or 15 people online with us today. So thank you to you guys for hanging in there with us. And with that, have a great weekend. Oh, prizes. Oh my goodness, prizes. How did I forget the prizes? Probably because I don't have a big table up here to remind. Okay, you guys want prizes? 3 prizes? All right, first off, these things are a prize. We're not quite sure exactly what they are.
Really long straws.
But if you want more of them, we've got a huge, massive box of them at the back. We think it's probably shrink wrap.
It looks like shrink.
Is what we're thinking they are. Not even exactly sure how we ended up with them. But yeah, so if you want them, let us know. It is a prize because, we love you. All right, so we've got lots of stuff up here. No, these are not them, so we'll just put those aside. Now, I'm going to warn you about one thing. We do have a league handbook. It's all in one right here. Then we have another handbook, but it's missing volume 1. So just be aware of that. All right, so with that, Ted, would you please pull a ticket for us?
What? All right, Kilo Golf 7, Juliet X-Ray Golf.
Juliet X-Ray Golf.
Hey, Casey.
Excellent. And before you go up there, you get to pull our next ticket.
All right, who was it that gave me that $10?
20.
Okay.
All right. Spencer. There we go. Be sure to get the 2 through 6, whatever it is, Oh, here, pull a ticket. KG7EES. Echo S. Excellent, Nick. Everybody's gonna leave with shrink wrap or whatever this is. I promise you, you're all leaving with some. Hold on, take it for us. Thank you. KN1 TER. Me right here. There we go. Perfect.
AJ7 Tango Mike.
Tango Mike. Can't believe I forgot the prizes. Can you read it?
Mickey Appleball.
Mickey! KJ7 BZX. Excellent. Let's see what more we got up here, because I don't know. That's not. So, yeah, we've got a few more, so let's go ahead and pull ticket. KJ7 HFP. Excellent. KJ7 ESQ. Let's see what we got left. We've got, it's missing number one. But yeah.
That's okay.
You can have the regular. So we got the first, we've got a level, we've got a book, so we've got.
So just get the rest of it.
And we've got these, and I'm not kidding, we're gonna get these away. Go ahead and grab a ticket. I can't believe nobody's wanted the tubes, the mystery tubes. N7 TEI. TEI. KK7EF. EF.
I'll relinquish, I've got all sorts of stuff, so.
You want these?
Yes.
There we go.
Not all of them. That's all.
Like I said, we've got a whole box of those. Here, grab another. All right, we have WB6YOK. Excellent job. Looks like you get it first.
Are we done?
Yeah.
You know how many of these dang things I got?
Do you want some straws?
Oh, I'll take a double handful of that.
Wonderful. Well, that's the prizes. But like I said, if anybody is missing out, we got plenty of the tubes left. You are welcome. We've got a file box, you know, one of those archival file boxes full of these things. So please help yourselves. And with that, see you guys hear you guys on the air, and I'll see you guys next month, if not earlier. Have a great day. Woo! Thank you.